Hey you, welcome back. Tierra Bennett here. No, that's Tierra back there behind the camera. This is Dan the Sandman Wise over here. I appreciate you joining in, friend. Tonight's show is brought to you by a brand new sponsor, South Georgia Gold Buyers. They have 1,754 locations around South Georgia, and I think 7 here in Douglas. The main office is over at the Fighting Academy.
That's right.
All right. And to my left, and definitely away from my power hand because he knows better, is Dan the Sandman Wise. Dan is a mixed martial arts expert from West Green, Georgia.
That's right.
West Green?
West Green.
Dan, tell us about how you got started in MMA. And for those of you that don't know, that stands for Mixed Martial Arts.
Well, you know, of course I saw yourself back several years back. You, along with Scott Harper. And once I saw y'all two into it, that kind of got, you know, somebody like myself.
So you were watching the Kingpin show?
The Kingpin himself.
Oh, you mean in the cage?
In the cage.
Okay.
Put on a clinic.
Man, I didn't know you were that old.
Man, look, I remember things about you.
Well, I really didn't even know you. So you actually watched me fight?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's cool. You had to be like 6, 7?
No, dude, I was older than that.
How old are you now?
27.
How long you been fighting?
Oh, off and on 2 years.
2 years?
Off and on.
How many fights have you been in?
4.
4 fights. What's the scariest part about getting into a steel cage and somebody locking the door behind you? I mean, we like to talk about overcoming fear, overcoming objections, you know, and we like to talk about success.
That's right.
All right. Now, without a doubt, let me give you a good example of fear that we face every day. I have new young hustlers that come to work for me. I call them young hustlers because everybody that works for me is younger than me, and they like to get after it. Young hustlers. So I asked them if they're willing to make cold calls. That means they got to get at their phone. I can give them a list of people, or they can grab a phone book. We don't care about the do not call list. If we call you, expect it. Coffee Chrysler's going to be calling you. So we'll tell them, hey, you got to call these people, and you got to stay on the phone with them for 10 minutes before you can hang up. Some of them break out in sweats. They get scared to death. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd much rather talk to somebody on the phone with a white shirt on than have some big guy trying to beat me up and use his martial arts expertise on me. So, back to the question. What is the biggest fear that you have to overcome to get in there and actually attack someone that's trying to attack you?
The biggest fear, I think, the biggest part of it is your nerves to start with. If you can overcome the nerve part of it, once you get in there, it all goes away. It's strictly business.
Once somebody smacks you in the nose, I mean,
it's strictly business.
You know, I've had people tell me, how do you try to hurt somebody?
Well, you know, when you're asked that question, you know, just like I do, it's not that you're mad at this person. It's a sport. You know he's about to try to beat you up, so your job is to beat him up before he does it to you.
What happened in your last fight, Dan? Tell me before the fight what people were saying, a little bit of the buzz that was going on.
Well, you know, it was going around that this guy was a boxer. I possibly get knocked out, possibly get submitted. It could have went either way, but I knew it in my heart. I pushed myself hard, along with yourself, Scott Harper, Billy Wall, all y'all's help. I got where I needed to be. We got in there and come out the first round. We stood up, had a couple of exchanges, and I submitted him with an armbar.
Submission with an armbar. And in all of your previous fights, all of your training, up until you really started training seriously with Scott Harper and the guys at Extreme Fighting Academy, you were pretty much just a stand-up, bang and go kind of guy, right?
That's right. I wanted to get in there and just fight it out. I didn't care nothing about wrestling, getting on the ground. I wanted to get in there and, hey, let's throw hands, let's do it.
All right, and against somebody who takes you down, as Scott Harper and the guys at Extreme Fighting Academy will surely tell you, I do believe, it's very important to know what to do when you get on the ground.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you go into a fight, you know nothing about being on the ground, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Learn from experience.
Yep. And I tell you what, I have had the pleasure of rolling around with some of these guys and sparring with them. And before Dan's last fight, it was very, very obvious that he had put in a lot of work on the ground. You know, if you get on the ground with this guy, you better be ready to tap out. But he's coming to get you. Dan's going to put in the work. He's going to put in the effort. He's going to overcome his fears to take on his opponents. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to guarantee success in your life? I went out and bought a Donald Trump tie. It's on you now. For Kingpin Radio, it is
The Sandman.
Dan Wise and Billy Merritt. Peace out.